Africa holds the unique distinction of being the birthplace of humankind. Fossil evidence points to the continent as the origin of our earliest ancestors. Millions of years ago, early hominids, including Homo sapiens, emerged in Africa. These early humans spread across the continent, developing tools and social structures. The Great Rift Valley played a crucial role in this evolutionary journey. Africa's rich tapestry of life underscores its significance in global history. The Nile River nurtured the rise of Egyptian civilization. As humans migrated out of Africa, they carried their knowledge and culture. Africa is the starting point for understanding the spread of civilizations. The continent's ancient past continues to fascinate archaeologists and historians. When we think of ancient Africa, the image of towering pyramids and enigmatic pharaohs often comes to mind. Ancient Egypt, located along the fertile banks of the Nile River, stands as a testament to the ingenuity and grandeur of African civilizations. The ancient Egyptians developed a sophisticated civilization that thrived for millennia. Their monumental architecture, an intricate hieroglyphic writing system, and advanced knowledge in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine left an indelible mark on the world. The pyramids, serving as tombs for their pharaohs, are a testament to their architectural prowess and their belief in the afterlife. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in the 20th century captivated the world and provided invaluable insights into Egyptian burial practices and beliefs. Egyptian art, with its distinctive style and symbolism, continues to inspire awe and wonder today. The legacy of ancient Egypt extends beyond its borders, influencing art, architecture, and religious beliefs in other parts of the world. While Egypt often takes center stage in discussions of ancient Africa, the continent was home to a constellation of other remarkable kingdoms and empires. South of Egypt, the kingdom of Kush, known for its skilled archers and fierce warriors, rose to prominence. Kush, with its capital at Meroe, flourished for centuries, controlling trade routes and developing its own unique culture, distinct from that of Egypt. The kingdom's wealth derived from its control of gold mines and its strategic location along trade routes. Further west, along the North African coast, the Phoenicians, a seafaring people from the eastern Mediterranean, established the powerful city-state of Carthage. Carthage, known for its naval prowess and strategic location, became a major trading power in the Mediterranean, rivaling Rome for dominance. The Carthaginian general Hannibal's daring crossing of the Alps with elephants during the Punic Wars against Rome remains one of the most celebrated military feats in history. The legacy of these ancient African civilizations reminds us that Africa's history is rich and diverse, extending far beyond the familiar narrative of ancient Egypt. The Sahara Desert, often perceived as a barrier, served as a vital corridor connecting North Africa to the rest of the continent. The trans-Saharan trade, spanning centuries, played a pivotal role in shaping the history and culture of Africa. Camel caravans, traversing the vast expanse of the Sahara, became the lifeblood of this trade, transporting goods, ideas, and people across the desert. Gold, salt ivory, slaves, and textiles were among the most valuable commodities traded along these routes. The ancient city of Timbuktu, located in present-day Mali, emerged as a major center of learning and commerce due to its strategic location along the trans-Saharan trade routes. Scholars and students from across the Muslim world flocked to Timbuktu, drawn by its renowned libraries and centers of Islamic scholarship. The trade also facilitated the spread of Islam throughout West Africa, influencing the region's culture, architecture, and legal systems. The trans-Saharan trade left an enduring legacy on Africa, fostering cultural exchange, economic growth, and the spread of knowledge. Section 5. The arrival of Islam and the rise of new empires. The arrival of Islam in North Africa in the 7th century AD marked a turning point. Islam spread rapidly across North Africa, carried by Arab traders and conquerors. The new religion brought a new way of life, legal system, and language, Arabic. Islam led to powerful new empires in West Africa like Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. These empires thrived on trans-Saharan trade, gold, salt, and kola nuts. Mansa Musa of Mali is famed for his lavish pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324. The Songhai Empire, under Soni Ali, expanded through military conquest. Islam and these empires transformed West Africa's political, social, and cultural landscape. Section 6. The Transatlantic Slave Trade, a dark chapter. The transatlantic slave trade stands as one of the darkest chapters in human history, leaving an indelible scar on the African continent. Beginning in the 16th century, European powers, driven by the insatiable demand for labor on plantations in the Americas, engaged in the systematic capture, enslavement, and transportation of millions of Africans across the Atlantic Ocean. The Middle Passage, the treacherous journey across the Atlantic, was characterized by inhumane conditions, disease, and death, with countless Africans perishing during the voyage. The slave trade had a devastating impact on Africa, decimating populations, fueling instability, and hindering economic development. Families were torn apart, communities were shattered, and generations of Africans were robbed of their freedom and their future. The legacy of slavery continues to cast a long shadow on the continent, impacting social relations, economic opportunities, and racial identities. The transatlantic slave trade remains a stark reminder of the horrors of human greed and the enduring legacy of this brutal system. Section 7. The Scramble for Africa, European Colonization. The 19th century witnessed a renewed wave of European interest in Africa, driven by a combination of factors, including the search for raw materials, new markets, and strategic advantages. The Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885, convened by European powers without African representation, formalized the partition of Africa among themselves. This period, known as the Scramble for Africa, marked the beginning of a new era of European colonialism on the continent. European powers imposed their political systems, economic policies, and cultural values on their African colonies, exploiting their resources and subjugating their populations. Colonial administrations varied in their approaches, but they all shared the goal of extracting wealth from their colonies and maintaining control over their populations. Resistance to colonial rule was widespread, taking various forms from armed rebellions to passive resistance movements. The legacy of colonialism, with its artificial borders, unequal power structures, and economic exploitation, continues to shape the challenges faced by many African countries today. Section 8. The Winds of Change, Independence Movements. The mid-20th century witnessed a wave of independence movements sweeping across Africa as colonized people rose up to demand self-determination and an end to foreign rule. World War II, with its emphasis on freedom and self-determination, played a significant role in galvanizing nationalist sentiments in Africa. Inspired by the principles of Pan-Africanism and the example of independent nations elsewhere, African leaders emerged to lead the struggle for liberation. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Jomo Kenyatta of Kenya, Julius Nyerere of Tanzania, and Patrice Lumumba of the Congo were among the iconic figures who led their countries to independence. The path to independence was often fraught with challenges, including negotiations with colonial powers, internal divisions, and the threat of violence. Despite these obstacles, African nations gained their independence one by one, ushering in a new era of hope and possibility for the continent. Section 9. Modern Africa, Challenges and Triumphs. Since independence, African nations have faced a myriad of challenges, including poverty, disease, conflict, and the legacy of colonialism. Many countries have struggled to build stable democratic institutions, address economic inequality, and provide basic services to their citizens. Despite these challenges, Africa has also witnessed significant progress in recent decades. Economic growth has accelerated in many parts of the continent, fueled by investments in infrastructure, technology, and education. Democracy has taken root in many countries, with peaceful transitions of power becoming increasingly common. Africa is also home to a young and growing population full of energy, creativity, and a desire to shape their own future. Section 10. Africa's place in the world. Africa, with its vast natural resources, young population, and strategic location, is poised to play an increasingly important role in the 21st century. The continent is home to some of the fastest-growing economies in the world, attracting foreign investment and becoming a hub for innovation. African countries are also taking their rightful place on the global stage, asserting their voices in international affairs and contributing to solutions for global challenges. From the cradle of humanity to the forefront of innovation, Africa's journey is a testament to the resilience, creativity, and determination of its people. As the continent continues to write its own narrative, it holds the promise of a brighter future for all who call it home.